XTRF has two types of projects, XTRF Smart Projects and XTRF Classic Projects. BeLazy allows you to use both, even at the same time, but through two different types of integrations. We will first discuss the steps that every XTRF user has to take to use BeLazy. Then we'll go over the setup for Smart Projects, and finally, we'll move on to the Classic Projects. If you're a project manager joining an existing organization, you can jump over to the connection configuration or the project management aspects. This video only discusses the XTRF-related settings that your XTRF administrator needs to double-check. At the moment of the actual BeLazy XTRF connection configuration, you will need to enter one or more API access tokens and create a macro in XTRF. You'll also need to have the Home Portal API enabled, which is part of the professional and premium plans. To check if you have it, log into XTRF, open the question mark menu, select About, and click on the Licenses tab. Under the Enabled Features list, you will see if the Home Portal API is enabled. Also, check if you can use macros. Scrolling down, you should see the line int XTRF macros. If you don't see both, contact your XTRF account manager or reach out to us. Now let's go through the price profiles of the customers you want to automate. Go to Clients, select the client, and go to Rates. If the default CAT tool is not Other, go to Edit and change it to Other. Also, the default TM rates type should also be percentage, not fixed. It is not possible in XTRF to manipulate the non-other price profile types via macros or APIs, that's why this is needed, don't worry. It never causes trouble for the users. BeLazy uses the list of XTRF services to select workflows or process templates. Click on the cogwheel icon, then select System Values, Basic, and select Services. These are the services BeLazy will see. If you don't see a classic workflow that you want to use here, you'll need to create a new service and link it to that workflow. For Smart Projects, check for standard workflow naming in the process template/workflow column. If you create a new Smart Process template, it is automatically named according to the steps, with a little arrow made up of an equal sign and a greater than sign separating the steps, like this: translation equals greater than editing equals greater than proofreading. BeLazy requires this, you cannot name the process templates differently. If you did, go to Settings, Projects and Quotes, Process Templates, and rename them accordingly. It's usually a good idea to create separate services for BeLazy to separate automated project management from manual project management. Add a new service. Name it like BL-TEP, select the workflow or process template to link, and select a job type for the receivables. The job type won't matter to BeLazy. Now that we are at job types, take a second to look at the System Values, Advanced, screen and the calculation units. Job types have calculation units, and from either the job types configuration or the calculation units configuration you need to make sure that the calculation units used by your clients are enabled under the job types. For example, if you are paid for proofreading by the hour, make sure that the job type proofreading has the 1H calculation unit enabled. Another thing to remember is that in XTRF every value can be active or inactive. The source of most of the initial errors after setup is the fact that something refers to an inactive entity. For example, the service is active, but the workflow it refers to is inactive. Now that you have the services, let's configure automatic receivable and payable creation. Go to Projects and Quotes in the Settings menu, and select Automations, Smart. Search for automatic receivables and automatic payables, and enable them. Set the general switch to on in both cases, add the BeLazy related services using the Add Service button, and enable the receivable or payable generation for these services. You can disable it for the other services or the manually used services, thus it does not change the expected behavior for the project managers. Besides automatic receivable and payable generation, Also search for automatic files delivery and enable it. This is required for the full automation, otherwise, the project manager manually needs to enable the file to be delivered by the vendor for further delivery. After covering smart projects, let's take a look at how you can enable the delivery of documents from classic projects. XTRF does not have an API for classic projects to download files from projects, so we need to use the Customer Portal API. In order to use this, you need to enable the portal access to the customer. For all customers that you want to do automation for, you need to visit their profile. Click on Clients in the menu on the left. Select the customer, and then on the Contact Persons tab, select each contact person. Go to the Account Data tab and click on Edit. Enable the Client Portal Access Allowed checkbox, and make sure that all selected offices is selected in the drop-down in the Manage section, and also make sure that all checkboxes related to projects and tasks are enabled. Click on Save. If there is only one contact person with the given email in the system, then there is nothing else to do, it should work now. If the same email address belongs to more than one contact person for even multiple companies, you need to perform this operation for all these contact persons and also link the client offices. A typical example would be Welocalize if you are working for them. Go to the profile page of the client of the project. Select the Main Data tab and then the Offices subtab and click Edit. Now click on the Select Client link and one by one add all the clients where a contact person exists with the email in question. After linking the client offices, the only thing left is to go through all the contact person entities with the same email and give them access to the projects of the client. Go to the contact person's profile page. In the Clients section of the Main Data tab, click on Change. In the pop-up, select the client in question. Click on Save. After all of these settings are made, BeLazy should be able to download deliverable files of classic projects.